You're listening to Greater Good Radio Hawaii. Please visit us online at greatergoodradio.com. Today's guest is Don Kim, president of Sony Hawaii Company. In 1970, Don joined Sony Corporation in Tokyo. 2 years later, he moved to Sony Hawaii Company, working his way up through the years to eventually become head of the organization.
What made you initially want to stay in Hawaii when you first visited?
Well, I think it's a nice weather, and the people are very friendly, and I think it was living condition is much better than the Korea or Japan. And also that I didn't think about it, I was going to stay here forever, but I think it's meantime I married here, and I have a family, and I think the getting the falling in love further, so I decided to stay here until I retire, or even that further after I retire, I'm gonna stay here. Yes.
Was it hard when you initially moved, because that would be your first experience living somewhere within the United States, but I mean it's still very different from the rest of the United States?
Yes, I think that, but I do have some experience with the different cultures. That first of all, I went to Japan, and then I stayed in Japan around 3 years. Yeah, I had a good experience, and I learned how to adjust with a new different world. And I think continue to challenge it to the different world and different cultures. And I was enjoying that, the challenging those things when I was young.
Why did you decide to go to a different country, like to Tokyo, and then, come to the United States to challenge yourself in different cultures, as opposed to staying in Korea because that's where you were born and raised?
Well, I think it's every young generation, I think they have some challenge spirit, and then I think it's nothing special. I think that's still, I think some of the Korea or Japan young people, they all want to challenge it to the new cultures and new areas, like going to the Europe or America or even the Asian country. I think that I was kind of one of the kind of young people who has a challenge spirit.
What do you think is the most important, or are the most important factors for you becoming the position that you are today?
Well, I think it's when I work for Sony or anything what I do, I always asking to myself that did you try your best for anything what you do, so that even when you work for the company, sometimes you try to understand and help that more than what your responsibility, and then also you look at the total picture of the company's objectives and the goals, and I think those things is that you always kind of constantly checking and improve yourself. And then whenever you have chance to, I think you are ready to take any position. I think you got to have a good preparation. I think that was probably one of the reasons I become president. Not by myself, but I think it was appointed by the senior management.
What do you think is the most important thing to be successful as a business person, not from Hawaii, born and raised, but coming from the outside and doing business in Hawaii? What do you think is the most important to be successful?
First of all, I think they have to try their best to learn and working hard. I think that's the things that probably that I'll say.
Have you had any mentors that have helped you through your ranks through Sony or somewhere in your lifetime that have taught you those important lessons?
Yes, I think I was very fortunate that Sony's founder, there are two founders actually, co-founders, Mr. Ibuka and Mr. Morita. I think they are always the mentor of my life. I think they all like that challenge spirit. And I think they show the leadership in the worldwide. And then they think it's global and also localization. And then those things was really mainly affect to my life.
How did Mr. Morita help you develop personally?
Well, actually, that he making the speech, and then also that he taking leadership to the company's leaderships, and I think those things that really that affecting to all of, I think not only myself, but I think many of the Sony employees, they really that ask that the Mr. Moritas that the spirit and his leadership was really important for all of us.
But if he had you make speeches, how were you able to assimilate and learn the languages? Because you were in Tokyo, they speak Japanese. You know, you're from Korea, you speak Korean, and in the U.S. it's mainly English. So did you know all of these languages moving from one place to the next?
Oh, actually, that is my still biggest problem, that the language is very difficult, and still my language is, none of the language is perfect, so that's my problem. But I think I was very lucky that I had help from many my friends, and also that employee of the Sony's. When I went to Tokyo, they teach me a lot of Japanese also. When I come to Hawaii, I think also that our fellow employees, they help me, and also I study too. But I think still I'm having difficult time to have a good communication using all different languages. But somehow that I can communicate it, including body languages, looks like.
Thanks for tuning in. Stay tuned for more on Greater Good Radio.